Welcome to the Massage Life Podcast. I'm Melissa Pearson, registered massage therapist and founder of the Online Wellness Institute. And I'm here with my husband, Jordan, who is a chartered professional accountant. This week, we're talking about embarrassing moments. Okay, with this episode, there's a little bit of a rule. My rule is that if I'm going to share my embarrassing moments with each of you, that you need to share an embarrassing moment with me. If you listen to this podcast, follow us on Instagram and share an embarrassing moment with me so I don't feel so embarrassed. I mean, I don't even know why we're doing this episode, really. I'm just going to air out all my things.
Moments. My whole life is an embarrassing moment. I wake up and I'm just embarrassed with myself. I go to work. What have I done with my life? So this is more you than me. I only have... Maybe there are a lot of massage therapists who have experiences about me that are embarrassing. Like, I massage this weird guy named Jordan.
Hopefully never
but
see him again.
Yeah, but I don't know that I don't have many.
From the client's perspective?
Yeah, so we'll let you go first.
Okay. Yeah, so when I was thinking about this episode, I had to think back on all my embarrassing moments, and I kind of compiled a list. And then I realized it's actually quite long. But maybe they're not, like, I feel like I'm going to share these stories and maybe they're not as embarrassing as...
And these are embarrassing moments from your perspective. It's not like you're throwing someone under the bus. We don't want to do that.
No, they're all things that I did.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, the first one is something that someone else did, but... Okay, I'll just share the story. So my first embarrassing moment with massage actually was in massage school. So when I was in massage school, we had a class where we were going over abdominal massage. And so, of course, in massage school, you all have to take turns being the body on the table, the demo person. And so this day I volunteered to be the demo. So I'm on the table and everyone's circle around the massage table. There's like 25 students in the class, whatever. And the teacher said, okay, now I'm going to show you how to undrape for abdominal massage. But I have a new technique to show you, like a fancy fun trick. So she took the towel, so I'm laying face up. She took a towel and she held the corner, the edge, like the long edge of the towel, and then the top edge of the sheet, which was like at my clavicles. And she was like, okay, here's what you do. And of course, I'm looking up at the ceiling. I can't even tell what she's doing. And she moves everything around and then she says, oops, that's not supposed to happen. And I'm like, what just happened? Like, I don't even know what happened. It felt a little breezy. I was like, that's not good.
She exposed you.
And then she kind of laughed. Yeah. So she exposed me. She meant to try to just move down the sheet as she's also moving down the towel so that the towel would then be over my chest. The sheet would be lower so she could show my stomach. But, yeah, it slipped or something. I don't even fully know what happened. It slipped or whatever. And so she exposed me to the entire class, and there were men in the class.
Oh, no. I didn't realize that.
That was my first year, so there were a few men in the class. Second year, it was all girls. But my first year, yeah, there were like 3 guys.
Oh, no.
And so I still didn't totally know what happened. And so she did her little demo, and then I was like, get me out of this class. So I went to my friends, and I was like, what happened? I was like, did you guys see anything? And I had like 3 or 4 friends gathered around and they were like, no, we didn't see anything. And then my one friend looks me in the eyes and she's like, we saw everything. I was like, you are my one true friend to tell me the truth. So yeah, I mean, whatever. It's massage school. We all see each other half naked all the time anyway. So I didn't totally care, but still.
Yeah.
It was a little embarrassing. And I bet it was embarrassing for that teacher too. It was like,
did she apologize to you?
That's a good question. I don't know. That was so long ago.
I
don't think so.
She just hoped that,
that I would be like, we didn't say anything.
No one noticed.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. So that was my first embarrassing moment.
So maybe a lesson for that teacher. School. She should have used a male as the demo for that.
Yeah, maybe. Well, like, you don't need to do fancy draping tricks. Draping isn't like a magic trick. Just do it the normal way.
So how would you drape? How would you drape someone for an abdominal massage?
Yeah. So how I do it is, so you have the regular sheet, like up to the clavicles, and then what I do is put a towel on top of that sheet over their chest, and then the client holds on to so you have to kind of involve the client a little bit so they feel more secure. So I actually have the client hold the top of the towel, and then I shimmy the sheet underneath, shimmy it under. So now just the towel is over the chest and the sheet is below the towel, and then you can undrape down to the hip bones there.
Right.
So that's how I do it. I think that's how most people do it. That's the normal way.
Okay, what's your next story?
So my embarrassing moment started then.
This is fun for me. I've forgotten most of these.
Yeah. Okay, so another classic one. I'm sure other people have done this, but I've forgotten to massage an arm or a leg. Right? You're like, sometimes you just get into this rhythm.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, did I massage the left arm? No, I must have already. And you're like, can't remember. But then you don't want to massage it twice, but you also don't want to not massage it at all.
Yeah.
And so it's embarrassing because you're like, I should obviously be paying more attention to what I'm doing. But sometimes you just go off into la la land, especially if the client's quiet. Or I guess maybe the opposite. If they're talking too much, then maybe you get too involved in the conversation. But anyway, sometimes it's tricky. So I've done that before. I remember one time I forgot to massage a leg. And I was like, okay. I didn't realize. So I'm like, okay, time to turn over. And the client's like, I don't think you massaged my other leg. I was like, oh, sorry.
Just play it off. Be like, no, you must be mistaken.
Yeah. No, I didn't know. I'm obviously going to be honest. But there is a good little trick. My little trick, if you're like, dang, did I massage that limb or not, is feel if it's greasy. So sometimes I'll like just go over to that other side and just like feel if it's slick from the oil. Like if it's slick, then yeah, you already massaged that side. But if it's like totally dry, you probably
just get a Sharpie and then mark the limbs. Put an X. Yeah, this leg's done.
Like I know some people too will have more of a routine where it's like when they turn them over, they start with like the left leg, right arm, left arm, or something. Like you just have kind of a routine. That's so you don't forget.
Yeah, I think your problem too is that you're always thinking about other things when you're massaging. Isn't that true?
Like stupid podcast episodes?
Yeah,
or what kind of a TikTok video can I
Because you'll come home and you'll be like, oh, I have all these great ideas. And it's like, weren't you like massaging, focusing on your client? It's like, no, I was in La La Land thinking about TikTok videos.
No, I focus on my clients too. Don't out me. Okay, so yeah.
The worst. This isn't really an embarrassing story, but just kind of along that same line. It's so frustrating when I go for a massage and I say, "Don't massage my legs," and then the first thing they do is massage my legs. It's like, were you not listening to me? Like I said, don't massage my legs.
Okay,
and I have reasons for that. Like sometimes I get really ticklish, and then other times like I run a lot. And I do my own kind of home care on my legs, and I find sometimes when I get my legs massaged, it just like messes them up. So it's just like, just don't touch my legs.
Yeah. I had a client like that a little while ago. They said, you don't have to massage my feet. She was like, don't worry about my feet, like full body, but no feet, please. And so I do the full massage, and then again, I was just like into my rhythm of my routine, and I usually end with the feet, and I massaged her feet, and I didn't realize it until like it was like the next day, and I was like, oh, I massaged her feet, oh no. And so I actually sent her an email. I think I had to send her a receipt or something anyway. And then I was like, I am so sorry, I massaged your feet. Like, I know you asked for no feet, but I just forgot, right? It's an hour later. It was like 90 minutes later, and you just forget. And so she wrote back, and she was like, no, actually, I totally loved it. Next time you massage me, can you massage my feet? It was great, or something. So I was like, phew.
Yeah, the times when this happened to me, though, it'll be like, the first thing they
that's bad.
do.
That's like no
it's
excuses.
Like,
You're like, that
please
was
don't touch my legs.
ago.
And then literally like 20 seconds later, they're touching my legs.
That's so
like,
weird.
Were you not listening?
Yeah, that's bad.
Okay. Next
story.
So
the next one's kind of similar to that. It's massaging for the wrong length of time. So whether it's too short or too long, I've done that.
You've done both of those?
Yeah, I've massaged for too short of time. I don't know if in practice, but definitely at the student clinic at massage school. I massage someone for two. Sometimes it's confusing. Like, you forget what time you start at. So you're like, wait, is it supposed to go until the hour or 15 minutes after? Or it can be confusing. So I remember one time I only massaged someone for 45 minutes and it was supposed to be an hour. But I realized right away, but after they had already gotten dressed, and I come back into the room and I was like, I'm so sorry. It was only 45 minutes. So then...
What did you do?
So in that case, I mean, it's tricky in the student clinic because they only pay like $20 or something for the massage. And so... Right. So I ended up doing like some facilitated stretching on the table. So I was like, yeah, just lay back on the table. Like I can stretch a bunch of stuff out. And then I think I massaged their hands and like I filled the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But in real practice, maybe I would just give them like a refund or something. I don't know what I would do. Or yeah, okay, get undressed again, get back on. That like totally throws off the whole rhythm of the massage. But I haven't done that for a really long time. But I have massaged for too long recently. This client usually booked a 90-minute and one time booked a 60, and I was just like in the routine of doing a 90 with them. I think I didn't even notice in the schedule that it was only a 60.
Right.
And so afterwards, so she was like, And I loved the massage, but just to let you know, it was only supposed to be 60 minutes. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And then I was like, obviously, I'm only going to charge you for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she was like, it's fine. I'll pay you for the full 90 minutes. And then it was just kind of like awkward. And I just felt bad. So that was kind of embarrassing. Yeah, so I have a lot of also embarrassing moments with mobile massage. So doing mobile, it adds on like a layer of things you have to think about and be aware of. So I have mobile stories. Anyone who's done mobile massage, if you've been doing it long enough, you've definitely gone to the wrong house at one point.
Yeah,
so I've done that.
You've done that.
I've done it
Have
twice.
you done it more? You've done it twice.
Yes, I've done it twice. So the first time it was new client's house, and I just like mixed up the numbers. It was like 123, and I went to 132 or something. So I ring the doorbell, and the person comes to the door, and I was like, "Hi, are you Judy?" And just like this old, super old lady, and she's like, "No." I've got everything. Like, I'm one of those crazy people that like doesn't like to take trips, so I just bring everything with me. So I have like my table, my other bag, like all this stuff, and I'm like, "Hello," and then she's like, I was like, "Hi, are you Judy?" or whatever, and then she said, "No, Judy lives across the street." And she's like so helpful. I was like, "Thank you, I'm so sorry." And obviously she didn't really care. And then the other time, it was a client's house I had been to before, but so I don't know how I got mixed up, but I was across the street, and then I was like, "This house doesn't look the same." I'd only been there once, I think. I was like, "This house doesn't feel right. This doesn't look like the right house." I was like, "Oh well," like I don't know why. In that moment, I was like, maybe I should double check the address.
Like, no, I'm just gonna.
No,
run
I'm
with
just
it.
gonna go with it. I think I was running late, and so I was like, whatever. I'm sure it's fine. And then yeah, I ring the doorbell, and I'm like, "No, this isn't right." And I was like, "Dang it,
I've made a mistake.
I made a terrible mistake." Thankfully, no one was home, so I was just like, dee. But then I had to like put my stuff back in my car, and then just drive across the street. I was like, hopefully they're not like watching me from the window. Anyway, so that happens sometimes.
That's so funny.
Okay, but so I had a friend, a virtual friend, say that they did that one time, and then they got a new client out of it. The person was like, "No, this is not the right house, but this sounds amazing. Do you have a business card?" They like went back there like a while later.
It would have been even better if the person just played it up. That was like, "Yes, I am Judy.
Yeah, I did book a massage."
Come on in."
That would be so funny.
Oh man.
Oh dear.
Okay, keep going.
Another mobile thing that happened to me one time is the alarm went off on the car.
Oh really? I didn't know about this.
I didn't tell you that. Yeah, it was okay. Thankfully, so it was two people at the same house, like a mother and a daughter, and thankfully it went off in between. So I wasn't in the middle of massaging someone, but they're like, your car alarm's going off." I was like, "What?" So I ran out there, and I was like, I don't know why.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know if
weird.
someone had tried to break into it. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want
Yeah.
to steal that car. Like, it's the world's worst car.
It's so ghetto.
Such a dump, but yeah, it went off for some reason. So
Interesting.
I just whatever, it was fine. But that could have been worse if it was in like the middle of a massage. Any other?
I mean, people are pretty forgiving of stuff like that.
Right. It's like
Right?
it's not my
like,
fault.
It's not my fault.
Yeah, totally. I think those are the only mobile things. What else? I think a classic one is like your tummy making noises, or like if you have
Right.
gas, like just like human body stuff.
Yeah,
Right. That's
yeah.
kind of classic.
Right.
So that's normal. A while ago, my little chair broke. That was embarrassing. So with mobile massage, I bring a little folding stool, and I don't know what happened to it. It has like this little strap on it so that it like opens, but it doesn't like open all the way. So
Yeah.
the legs don't like open all the way. And so the little strap broke on it, and yeah, I was just like adjusting it, and then it like collapsed. Thankfully, I didn't have all my weight on it because I was already trying to like shift my weight on it or something. So I didn't like fall on the ground, but it like made this loud clatter. I was like, sorry.
Did the client say anything?
Yeah, well, it was like super noticeable, and then I was like, and it was of course like in the middle of like it was so quiet.
Yeah, like the most relaxing
could've-
part of
yeah.
the massage.
I was like, seriously. I was like, sorry, my chair's broke. And then she was all worried that I had hurt myself. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. Like I didn't fall, thankfully."
Right.
And it wasn't like broken. Like I was able to fix it enough that I could still use it, so that was good. But actually, that just reminded me of another embarrassing moment that I didn't even write down. Was one, oh yeah. So one time I was pregnant and I was doing a mobile massage, and I'm kind of a fainter, right? Like you know this, I've passed out so many times, and so I think I hadn't eaten anything for a long time, and like I don't know, whatever.
You're the worst for that.
For not eating for a long time?
Yeah.
No.
Like you'll leave to go work at like
Yeah.
4:30, and you'll take nothing with you.
Yeah,
maybe a
it's
granola
sometimes
bar,
bad
and you'll come
with
home
massage.
at 9.
I think all massage therapists can relate to that. Like in between massages, we're like trying to inhale food.
Yeah.
How much food can I shove into my mouth in 2 minutes? But yeah, anyway, so I'd gotten really dizzy, and I knew if I didn't lay down, I was gonna pass out. Like I would fall on the floor. And so I'm in the middle of the massage, and I'm like, I am so sorry, but I'm gonna pass out. And so she's like freaking out, like so worried for me. So she's like butt naked on the table. So she like togas herself in the sheets and is like trying to help me. I'm like, I'm fine. I just need to lay down. So I'm like laying on her floor.
Oh no.
And then she's like, lay on the couch. It's okay and all this. And I'm like,
When was this?
forever ago. I was pregnant with Abby,
With
like
Abby,
our first.
okay.
So this was like over 8 years ago.
That's so funny. You were doing mobile back then?
Yeah, I was just like on the side.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't my full-time thing. It was just like for a friend. And yeah, so I had to lay down. And then I think we ended the massage there because I could, like, every time I tried to stand up and stuff, I was getting dizzy, and so I had to like sit down. She gave me some water and stuff. It was bad.
Oh no.
So that was.
Did she ever
embarrassing.
rebook with you?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. But yeah, that was weird.
I feel like as a client, I think an experience like that would be kind of exciting, right? I don't know.
Like,
it would
makes
just
for
like
a good story later.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
right?
so
Like,
my massage therapist like almost died.
like I don't think I would be annoyed or upset. Like things
Right.
like that just happen, right?
Right. It's not like, yeah, I did something negligent or something. Like,
Right.
there's nothing I could do to prevent that aside from maybe
massaging,
eating.
massaging my legs when I told you not
Yeah,
to. It's
yeah,
like,
that's a little different.
why?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so back to my long list. Like, we're only like halfway through these.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay,
I mean,
keep
I
going.
can cut some of them out. Okay, another classic one that I'm sure everyone can relate to is mispronouncing names or like forgetting who your client is. So when I worked in, I used to work in a really busy spa, and we'd get notified in the back room that our client was there, and so we'd have to come out front and say like, Matt or whatever, and it's like a waiting room full of people. Maybe it's better now with COVID, like only like one person can be in the waiting room or whatever, but like back in the day it was like full waiting room, and I'd be like, Matt, but it's like you should kind of make eye contact with the person, right? Like, hi, you're here, like I've seen you before. But sometimes I wouldn't remember what they looked like,
Right.
and so I'd be like, Matt, and then just kind of like not make eye contact, like just look around the room, like,
just
or
look
like
at your chart.
pretend to look at the chart, yeah. And then it's like, as soon as they get on the table, I'm like, oh yeah, you like recognize their like tattoos and their moles and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I remember you now that you're like on the table. But it's just sometimes like you don't remember.
You don't remember faces,
Yeah, I don't
but
remember
backs.
I don't remember their face. I remember their back or their legs or whatever. But I mean, they're face down half the time.
Right.
So that's hard. Or mispronouncing their name. Like sometimes I get some really hard names, and you have to go to the front and you'll be like, "Hi, is
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like it's so hard, right, to know how to pronounce their names." So
Yeah.
sometimes I would Google, like if it's a foreign name, sometimes you can Google it and there's like how to pronounce it.
Right.
So that's handy. I would
And
recommend
that really goes a long way.
pronouncing their name properly.
Yeah, if you pronounce someone's name properly, especially if it's a new client.
But that's hard though. Sometimes you don't know how to pronounce it.
I know, but if you can use a resource like YouTube or whatever, like if you
Yeah.
could find out how to pronounce this person's
Yeah.
name, like it really goes a long way. I had a client when I worked at the bank. It wasn't a client it wasn't a regular client. I didn't know this person, but he had come in and he needed help with something. And I went out to go and greet him, and I only had his last name. And so I said, "Oh, is Mr. Theriault here?" And it was like a French name. It was spelt really, really weird. Like it wasn't like it was a French name. And so he was so taken back by this. He just thought that was the greatest thing in the whole world. And the first thing he said was, "Nobody ever pronounces my name correctly. Like, how did you know how to pronounce this name?" And I had a friend in Ontario who had the same last name, and so I just knew how to pronounce this name. But yeah, so something like that, it can totally win over a
Right.
person. And I think as service providers, we should be looking for opportunities to do that, right? To really make the whole experience so much better.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a new client and you can't figure out how to pronounce their name, obviously you could say, "I'm really sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Can you please say it for me?"
Yeah.
And then once they do, then you need to write that down in the chart. And I would often do that, like write it out phonetically,
Yeah.
so that you know how to pronounce it. And also, if you're in a clinic, so that someone else knows how to pronounce it properly,
Right.
right? So I think
Right.
that's really important. Oh, here's another embarrassing mobile story, or I guess it could be any situation, but for me it was a mobile story. One time I was putting the sheets on, and out popped a pair of underwear.
Oh,
in the
no.
sheets. Yeah, because I had dried them in our dryer at home, and I guess a pair of underwear was stuck in there.
Was that my fault? Because I usually fold your laundry.
It was forever ago. That was also like back when that like fainting story happened. I think it actually might have been that same client's house, to be honest. I was like, I'm just a mess here. That was embarrassing. But it was like a moment where I was like, I'm not sure if she saw it or not. So I like quickly grabbed it and like stuck it in my pocket or something.
Right.
I was like,
right.
okay. So make sure things are not in your dryer. Also with mobile, I've forgotten supplies before. So I remember one time.
How would that, hold on, let's go, how would that have even happened? Because when you wash your massage sheets, like, you only wash the sheets.
It was
like,
back in, yeah. It was, first of all, it was a long time ago, and maybe I did wash stuff with it. And also, I think it was just left in the dryer.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Right. That makes sense.
If it's just left in the dryer. Yeah, I don't think it was actually washed with it. It was just in the dryer.
Yeah, because you never massage your clothes.
And then,
It's
like,
just the sheets.
Those sheets can get staticky. I think stuff can get stuck to them really easily.
Right.
I don't know. It's just bad. And then, yeah, I've forgotten my oil before. If that ever happens, you can always ask your clients if they have coconut oil.
Like, do
That's
you
what I did.
have any olive oil? Any coconut oil? Not
Coconut oil is good.
Any canola oil?
Canola, ew.
Do you have some butter in the fridge?
Some lard. Some bacon grease. Yeah, actually, I think that's it of my list.
Oh, that's not bad.
I did write down, too, some things that I think clients might be embarrassed about. Do
Yeah,
you have any embarrassing stories you want to share?
I've only ever really had one bad experience with a massage therapist. And so this was a couple of years ago when I worked downtown in Calgary. And we lived in Bridgeland, which is just on the outskirts. And there's a spa that we would go to in Bridgeland. I don't want to name the spa. I don't want to call anyone out.
Like one. Too late.
Too late. But there's like a million people that work there,
Okay.
and I love this spa, and everybody that I've met there has been great, except for this one person. So I would usually book a massage after work, and then I would walk there. And on this one occasion, it was a really hot day, and I was running late, and so I was walking really fast. And so when I showed up for my massage, I was like sweatier than normal, and I hate that. Like, I'm the type of person that always showers before a massage just because I just don't want to be sweaty or smelly or anything, right? And so the therapist, she commented on the fact that I was like sweaty, and it was so uncomfortable, and I wasn't like that sweaty. Anyways, it was just awkward and uncomfortable, and it like made me more like self-conscious, and so then I think I got even more sweaty. It was just like this really bad cycle, and it was just, I just felt so uncomfortable. And there was some other things that I can't remember. There was something else that she said that was like really offensive, and I was just so. Yeah, I was just so upset.
Was that near the beginning of the massage, too, when she commented on the sweatiness?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, then it's like 60 minutes feels so long.
Yeah, and it was one of those massages where I was like, I couldn't wait for it to just be over. And I should have just said, like, can we just be done? Like, I don't want to be.
You're too nice, though. Like,
yeah, like, I don't want to be here. And I told someone afterwards, like the front desk person, and they never did anything about it.
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Right? Like, there was never an apology. There was never nothing, you know? Not that I expected a discount, but it was like, it was a bad experience, and it was just,
Right.
I don't know, like, don't comment on people's bodies, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think generally speaking, like, people are pretty self-conscious about, I don't know, a lot of things, and so,
Yeah.
like, don't make comments like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so
Right? 'Cause
unnecessary.
it's just so unnecessary. It's like, every body is different, and that's totally normal and fine. It's like,
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that's something that most people know. I'm surprised. Like, that story just kind of shocks me because I feel like most massage therapists say things like, we don't care if you have hairy legs. We don't care if you have wrinkles. We don't care if you have stretch marks. Like, you know, I see posts like that on Instagram and stuff. And so that shocks me, that story, because I feel like in general, we're pretty good about.
yeah, and I think
Not
for the most part
caring.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been for massages so many times,
Right.
and I've met
That
so
was
many
the
different
first, yeah.
therapists. That was the only one that was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess two other like stories I thought maybe someone would be embarrassed about is I remember a client one time, like mid-massage, was like, I'm actually, it was like near the end of the massage, was like, I'm so sorry, I can't wait any longer. I have to go to the bathroom really bad. I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, and things like that. I think people are so scared that that it's embarrassed, or like, I now feel uncomfortable. It's like, I literally don't care. Like, go to the bathroom, like, whatever. Like,
it's fine.
It's totally fine. Also had a client one time, like, they had their period on the table, and they're like, I'm so sorry, like, I bled on your sheets. And it's like, it's totally fine. Like, the sheets get washed on the sanitized cycle. Like, I literally don't care. Like, it's not a big deal.
Right.
And so
it's a normal, natural thing.
Again, like, our bodies, it's like, this is just how they are. And like, I've massaged hundreds of people. Like, do you think I care? No.
Now, if you crap on my table, that's a different story.
That's a whole different level.
Like that one client that I had at the
What
bank.
are you talking about?
Yeah. I told you that story. It didn't happen to me. It happened to one of my coworkers. But he had a client that come in, and without getting into too much detail, the client just like crapped his pants in the chair, and then like
when you gotta
soiled
go,
the chair.
You gotta go.
I was like, okay, well, this is uncomfortable.
This chair's going in the garbage now.
Yeah.
Like, was it a cloth chair?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It was very sad.
Okay, well, if that ever happens to me in my practice, then that'll be one for the
Then we'll do a
books.
part 2.
Yeah, part 2. Oh man.
I don't have anything else.
I'm sure I'll think of more stories after this. I'll be like, oh, I forgot that one great story. So yes, if you guys have any stories to share with me, feel free to share them.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
I don't have any. I mean, we could talk about embarrassing moments from like our personal life.
What? We don't need to share any more embarrassing things. You have
Okay.
more stories?
I try not to remember.
Block it from your memory.
So it's hard. Like I'm very hard on myself.
Oh, I know. You do have a lot of embarrassing moments. Like when you you always text the wrong person.
Oh yeah,
You always try to text me like, "Love you, honey," or something, and you're like,
Like
you're
text
like your
somebody else.
friend. They're like,
Or my
excuse me. That is classic.
But even just
Be sure not to do that to your clients. That'd be weird.
like when I'm teaching courses for online wellness, when I'm doing a live seminar, I always get great feedback. People will say, "Yeah, I loved it. It was so great." But afterwards, I'm always just like, "Oh, I'm an idiot. Like, why did why did I say it that way? Or or I forgot to say this, or that sounded so dumb. Like, oh, I'm such an idiot."
Yeah.
Right? And I think most people are like that.
We're our
right?
own worst critics, for sure.
We're harder on ourselves.
Yeah, I remember I did a little presentation. I used to work at this clinic that had a dental office in there too, and so they wanted me to talk about TMJ massage to the dentist. And I was so nervous because it was a room full of dentists who I know are very educated, and I had to get up there and give this little talk about how I was really interested in massage for the jaw. And I remember being so nervous, and I gave this little speech and then sat down, and then how you replay everything that you said in your mind, and I'm like, it's like a movie in my head of everything I said, and I was like, but then I remember same thing as you, like a lot of people came up to me afterwards and they're like, wow, that was so great, I learned a lot. And then all these dentists would refer people to me for TMJ massage, so that was awesome.
Right.
And today I was working on my TMJ course for online wellness, so
yeah, that's exciting.
yeah, it'll be good. So yeah, we're definitely our own worst critics. So if you've had embarrassing moments, don't stress. It's not the end of the world.
It happens to everyone.
It happens to everyone.
Yep. But let us know. We definitely want to hear it.
Still share. Okay.
Okay. Love ya.
See ya.